The Senior Bowl is a month away, a beautiful week in Mobile where we get to see the finest of college football. But before we get here are my top linebackers in the 2023 NFL draft class. And what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. As always, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that nice beautiful football discourse. Special thanks to Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring the video. If you like weekly fantasy player prop bets, then check out Underdog Fantasy. When you sign up with promo code Broshmo, then they will match your deposit up to $100. Remember, sign up with promo code Broshmo. What a ad. But remember, my friends, bet responsibly. Let's go ahead, get into this sucker with number 10, Cam Jones. Admittedly, Henry To'oTo'o was very close. I was signed between him or Cam Jones, and ultimately I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go with Cam here because I haven't talked about this cat, I think, since the beginning of the year, and part of that is because he got hurt 5 weeks into the season. But he's 6'3", 228. He was a former 3-star recruit, played both wide receiver and linebacker back in high school. He also, this man, he likes his community service. He likes serving his community. Over 100 hours participated. Love to see it. Now, this was looking to be a breakout year, or at least a statement year for Cam Jones. However, a foot injury ended his season after 5 games. He will be at the Senior Bowl, so I'm excited to see him. But this cat, he shows a lot of grit. He has been the leader of that Hoosier defense, and he actually played through multiple games with this foot injury before he decided, yeah, you know what? I'm a legit prospect. I'm going to get this taken care of before the off-season draft process. So, this guy's gritty. This guy's here for his team, man. He's a physical player who will stand ball carriers up. He uses his hands to rip at the football. He has actually pretty good lateral ability. I love how he pursues. The closing speed's very nice. He reads and reacts well, and he's just a strong finisher, man. Hard hitter. Violent is a perfect adjective. The violence Cam Jones. There you go. It's a perfect adjective for him. He also has a grip of special team experience. However, this isn't your ideal coverage guy. At least we didn't get to see much of that this year, though. I would say even still, he doesn't have a lot of coverage prowess to him. He very much was the type of linebacker that he'll probably allow catches. His catch rate will probably be between the 70s and 80s, which is fine. That's most of the NFL. But he's going to be a minimal gain guy. He's going to be a guy that makes sure, hey, if you're going out for a 5-yard route, then the most you're getting on this route is 5 yards. That's about it. So, you love to see it. He doesn't have too many splash plays in coverage, but it's fine. He isn't the burstiest guy. He isn't a guy that will explode through gaps and surprise guys in the backfield. He doesn't really have bend to blitz off the edge. He's this kind of at the very least, he is a 2-down linebacker with limited playmaking skills and coverage, which is fine, which is a-okay, man. This cat's been a sure tackler for most of his career. 7% missed tackle rate this season. Through 5 games, had 24 defensive stops. Those were essentially plays offensively that were either resulted in no gain or a negative gain. So kinda legit. Here, hold on, I gotta write this. There we go. So, I'm a big fan. I got a 3rd round, he's basically late day 2, early day 3 for me. Again, Henry To'oTo'o was the other guy here, but I was like, you know what, I haven't talked about Cam Jones. I think it's fine to have them kind of in the same ballpark. But let's go ahead with next on the list. Nick Herbig. I just moved him back over from my edge list to my linebackers because I really think he'll probably give off-ball linebacker a shot similar to another former Wisconsin prospect in Zach Bond, who was drafted by the Saints, I think in the 3rd round as well. But like, this dude is actually a really good pass rusher. BT Dubs, his brother is Nate Herbig, who actually had a solid season there for the Jets at one of the guard positions. I don't know if it's left guard, right guard, one of the guard positions. But this dude's got really good movement skills. He can maneuver all around the line. He's quick. And you see that either whether it's from the outside or whether it's on stunts. He uses his hands exceptionally well. Doesn't let blockers get into his pads cleanly. He does a good job of setting up blockers for his moves. And it's literally, it's like he's a puppeteer or a marionette. Like the way he sets up these guys for his moves, man. You love that. It's just at his size, he's kind. You kind of look at him, you're like, you get this Nick Bonito type of feels. But Nick Bonito, he got up to 240 at the combine. So like, I don't know if Herbig's going to do that. I really, really don't. But, like, you know that what this guy brings as a blitzer, as a pass rusher. He reads and reacts well to where the play is going on in the backfield. He has the speed to keep up with run backs and tight ends, at least in coverage, because he does have coverage experience. It's just not a ton. So, again, a guy that's too undersized to really consistently play out on the edge. He doesn't have the ideal length for that either. His play strength probably wouldn't go well with the edge or well on the edge. Now, like, yeah, he's going to be a project in coverage. It is what it is. He's, if anything, early on, he will be an early on DPR guy in the league, which is fine. We've seen guys like James Houston kind of set it off. He carved out a role for himself on the Lions after Thanksgiving. And I think did he lead rookies in sacks this past season, just being a DPR, which designated pass rush only. D'Angelo Malone last season out of Western Kentucky was basically viewed in the same way. He ends up going in the 3rd round. I think Herbig's probably a better prospect, at least a better pass rusher than Malone was, and I really like Malone. Now, you're not saying like he can't do coverage things early on. I'm sure like you could ask this guy to go out, guard the flats, or maybe man up on a tight end or a running back, but like, or at least early on, he won't be a down-to-down guy, but had a good year, 11 sacks, 34 pressures. On to number 7, Noreen Williams. I've been talking about Noreen Williams quite a bit last month and a half. I'm a big fan of this cat out of Tulane. Tulane had a real special season this past year. He's one of the better coverage linebackers in this class. He's a very smart player with good short area quicks, very good closing speed. He plays with good recognition. His play speed is just like constantly flash, super fast. He shows really good range. He moves just so well around the line of scrimmage. His change of direction smooth. He flows with the action. He plays with this nasty mean streak. He plays bigger than 6'2", 230, which really isn't, by nowadays standards, isn't small for a linebacker, but traditionally it is smaller, but plays with a mean streak, packs a punch. I love this dude's scrappiness. I love the willingness to throw his body around. He just relishes physicality. He got that tackle rate, or that missed tackle rate, down to 8.3% this year, so good for him. 54 stops is among the most in college football. Love to see it. Now, again, this is a cat that might take a minute to get used to NFL strength. Like, he may be a smaller dog, but this smaller dog got a lot of fight in him. Not the size of the dog, but the fight in the dog. He got a lot of fight. But there are times when facing bigger blockers, like fullbacks, linemen, he struggles to disengage. And you know what? I think that'll probably show up early on, or maybe it doesn't, man. Like, I think he's worth taking that shot just because he's so dang good in coverage. Got a 3rd round grade on him. Been a big fan of his all year. Also, shout out to his teammate Nick Anderson. I think he's going to be a quality midday 3 pick. Another guy who doesn't really fit the ideal size for an NFL linebacker. All right, then I got Tommy Eichelberger here at number 7. And this cat used to shot put back in high school. Like, no kidding. You could tell, man. Linebacker, I just assumed. Oh, they did track and field. It's javelin or shot put. It's like that with linemen as well. But he's 6'2", 239. His brother is Dolphin. Great. Liam Eichelberger. Just tearing it up at guard for the Dolphins. I know he's hurt, but he wasn't playing that well to begin with. But I imagine his brother is going to be better. I really do. This was his first true year as a starter. Ended up getting first team All Big Ten. This dude's just a very aggressive downhill player. Plays with plus physicality, plus athleticism. Probably one of the more complete guys in this class. Honestly, him and Dorian, I really struggled to decide who to put in front of the other. I decided to go with Eichelberger because he's got more pounds. But Eichelberger is an exceptional run defender. He's got nice sideline to sideline speed. He takes great angles on ball carriers, has desirable length, and solid hidden power to boot as well. Like, he has consistently made stops this year. He was among the leaders in stops this season with 68. He shows, I think I already said, he shows good play strength, solid power, hits hard, shows a quick processor, and basically, especially in coverage, just does what Ohio State asks him to do. Now, to be fair, Ohio State, they do a great job of protecting their linebackers in coverage. And while he does have the athleticism and the length to be good in coverage in the NFL, it's just in college, he didn't have exactly the type of responsibilities and coverage you're going to see in the NFL. It was quite minimal there at Ohio State. But to be fair, Peter Werner was a cat that I thought was going to have the same problems, like in issues. I wasn't initially high on him. Eventually, I think I moved him to a day 2 grade. He goes in the 2nd round. He's played pretty well for the Saints. So I'm not going to let my love for coverage, or at least linebackers that can play coverage exceptionally well, cloud my potential judgment on Tommy Eichelberger. Now, this dude, as a pass rusher, you'll see 23 pressures and be like, oh, man, that's pretty solid. 4 sacks as well. You got to scheme this cat up. He's not going to do it one-on-one, or he's not going to, like, even if he tries to shoot a gap, if a guy gets a hand on him, he's not getting to the quarterback. He's a guy that you need someone to open the way for him as a pass rusher. Someone needs to open that pathway. But again, kind of nitpicking here. Overall, man, you just look at him and you're like, man, this is just a good freaking linebacker. All right, number 6, I got DeMarvion Overshown out of Texas. Hook 'em horns, baby. Now, this cat was a former safety in high school, converted to linebacker his freshman year at Texas, and he's kind of just been like a legit starter since, 2020? I love this dude's length. Like, legitimately, he's like a freaking eagle with how long his length is. He has good closing speed. No kidding, used to be a former safety. He's a problem for passing lanes, and you saw that going back to 2020. One of my gripes on him is his ball skills haven't been nearly as good since 2020, but he has the capability and he has shown it. He actually attacks pretty well off the edge, and he gets nimble between the tackles. As you can see, last 3 seasons, 47 pressures, 7 sacks. Love to see it. He's a very willing participant in the run game, does a good job of pushing plays to the sideline, and he has a great build, just needs to put on the mass. But that's the thing, he needs to put on the mass. He needs to get stronger. His play strength is cheeks. There will be times where he just tries to drag down ball carriers. He's just so inconsistent when wrapping up, and it's been a problem for him. He has a 19% missed tackle rate through his career. This year, the tackle rate was much better, 13%. But still, like, you look at prior years and you're like, okay, well, maybe gets the NFL and he's still skinny. He's still a stick. Maybe that tackle rate will just go up. But I mean, to be fair, like he's gotten better at a lot of these inconsistencies. And I'm just afraid that they'll resurface if he doesn't put on that weight at the NFL level. He does play a bit off balance, and again, man, you'd wish this guy be more physical around the line of scrimmage as a linebacker. That's just kind of like not his game. He likes to sneak in, play small, creep through the cracks, and try to make plays in the backfield. That's how he does it. So I would like to see him get that play strength up. But, man, I'm a big fan of Overshown. Solid year. 6'4", 220 if I didn't say that at the beginning. All right. At number 5, we got Noah Sewell out of Oregon, former 5-star recruit. He is the younger brother of Detroit Lions Penei Sewell and Nephi Sewell, wherever he may be now. He used to play for the Saints. I don't know where he's at now. They got another brother who's playing in the USFL, so fun fact there. He might be the strongest linebacker in this class. 6'2", 253, moves like a freaking locomotive, man. He takes on tackles with ease. He isn't slowed by contact. He's like a freight train, man. Locomotive, a freight train. Thomas the Train, Noah the Train even. That's what you're dealing with when you got Sewell, man. Long arms, good closing speed. He had 52 pressures and 6 sacks the last 2 seasons. He's got that thick build and that length just to be a trouble in the middle of the field for passing lanes. And we'll get to that because at the very least he can be a distraction in the middle when it comes to coverage. He does make occasional splash plays in coverage, which is nice, but let's straight up, dude. His coverage prowess is cheeks. That's the second time I've used cheeks. I think, yeah. It's dog water. It's not good. He's had a knack of missing a lot of tackles. This year, it's been better. And a big reason why he misses tackles is one of 2 things. He's just not a great tackler out in space. And also, he's got a hit stick mentality. He really does. He tries to annihilate guys and sometimes doesn't secure tackles, doesn't knock them off their feet. So, like, I like the mentality and whatnot, but, like, come on, my dude. Get better. Like his missed tackle rate this season was 12.5%. So it's like, oh, that's good. So in coverage, he could at least, be a minimal gain guy, right? But again, the coverage prowess, it's not great, man. He looks a bit lost out there in coverage, out there in space. And even if the tackling is better, we're looking at a guy that's going to be just a consistent thumper on the field. Got a top 75 grade on him just because the potential is freaking nice. Big fan. Just work on the coverage. But that's the thing, man. He still has a knack of making like plays in coverage. Like this year, he had a pick. He had 2 pass breakups. Like, that's actually impressive for him. It really is. Number 4 on the list. It is Dion Henley. Should have figured out how to say his name prior, but I whiffed. I messed up. Regardless, 6-year senior, 6'2", 232. I really enjoy this cat. He's a former wide receiver and return man. He actually spent the first 3 years of his collegiate career at Nevada as a receiver and return man before making the transition to linebacker. And after he played 5 seasons for Nevada, had that extra year because of the Rona, and went to Washington State and tore it up, man. I wish they used him more on blitzing because dude is a monster when you get him as a pass rusher. 18 pressures, 5 sacks, and that was like over just 40 or 50 pass rushing snaps. Pretty darn impressive. Now, being a former wide receiver, fun fact, he moves like it. He's good at that. His skill set, his versatility is exactly what you want to see in today's NFL. Flies all over the field. He has been one of the better coverage linebackers in the league since 2020. He understands route tendencies and concepts. It's like he used to play the position. He flashes ball skills, which It's like he was a receiver. But he's always really flashed the ability to be a blitzer, whether it's shooting gaps or coming off on the edge. Like, he just times his blitz as well and whatnot. He shows good balance while taking on contact and is way more put together as a tackler than you would expect from a former wide receiver. He had way more, 5.2 missed tackle rate this season, 40 defensive stops. Now, doesn't always take the cleanest routes to ball carriers, doesn't have the physicality you would want from the position, though he is jacked. Could put on a bit more mass, and so he could hold up. Like, if blockers get their hands on him, he's basically dead in the water. So you like to see that get better, but I mean, dude, there's a lot working here. There really is, man. I'm a big fan of Henley. All right, number 3, Jack Campbell, 6'5", 246. How would you explain Campbell? Just do good linebacker. He's just a good linebacker. 122 tackles this season, 15 pressures, 2 interceptions, sack, a forced fumble, and he was like, you know what? Let's stuff the stack sheet. I'm going to throw a pass deflection in there as well. Now, this dude, he has been a sure tackler his whole career. 9% missed tackle rate in 2022. It was 9.2% the year prior. Has great instincts. He hardly finds himself out of position. He reads and reacts well, both in the run game and in coverage. You'll find a hole in the run game and has the balance and short area quicks to really make a play. In the backfield, he keeps his feet moving through contact, which, if you don't know, I love boys that just keep churning them legs in spite of contact. It's just a thing of mine. Call it a fetish, if you will. But he keeps those feet moving through contact and will make plays on ball carriers. He has length to create problems in the passing game. He has shown splash plays. One pass breakup, 2 interceptions this year. And you know what? He's relentless. He's got a great motor. He closes well. The thing is, man, he just lacks high-end tools. The change of direction, His ability as a pass rusher, Doesn't really show any pass rushing moves, And against more athletic blockers, Campbell, he just struggles to break free in general. So, he's just good linebacker. He's a guy that's going to succeed at the next level. So, got him here as a top 75 grade. Number 2, Drew Sanders. Got a top 50 grade on him. Former Alabama player. They tried to move him to the edge. He was an off-ball linebacker in high school. And Alabama tried to make him more of an edge rusher. After 2 seasons of being just a rotation player, he was like, screw this, I'm going to Arkansas. And he wanted to be more of an off-ball linebacker. However, Arkansas just got it right. He played a lot. He played a lot, but this is how you use a guy that can get to the quarterback. Sanders, great athlete. You love the speed. You love the twitchiness. Again, no surprise Alabama tried to make him pass rush specialist. He's got good movement skills. I love the pursuit speed. His pass rush is just good. He explodes downhill. He's got the length of a pass rusher. Dude had 39 pressures and 11 sacks this season. It's just ridiculous. Really is just ridiculous. And you know what, man? He's got that length that can clog passing lanes, that can make quarterbacks not want to throw it your way. Now, the sample size is small of him being an off-ball linebacker, but it's what he played in high school, so I'm not too worried about that. He was a missed tackle nightmare. That's my biggest gripe. 19.6 missed tackle rate this year. So, as a run defender, I'm kind of worried because there were a lot of times where he just would overrun or just plays or just whiff tackles altogether. So it's that I'd like to see him get together. But you know what? First year back at off ball, not half bad, Drew. Not half bad. All right, and number 1, you should already know, it's Trenton Simpson out of Clemson. Got up to 240 this year, which makes me very happy. He was, I think, around 225 prior, but 6'3", 240. Had 68 tackles, 16 pressures, 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and a pass breakup. He is a junior, and he is just a ridiculously good athlete. Like, just ridiculous. If he is, I will be shocked if he doesn't test the best at the combine at the linebacker position. Now, he primarily played this overhang role for Clemson, which basically means he played a lot in the slot. But they also felt fine with putting him on the edge and letting him loose. And, like, he created a lot of chaos that way. It was a little less this year because just the amount of pass rushers that Clemson had. They were like, you know what, we will just use you out in space. We don't need you to blitz a whole ton. So he did. But he's shown the ability to get good leverage and use his length well when coming off the edge. So, like, this is a guy you could have come off the edge as a blitzer, or you could just have him shoot gaps because he can do that too. Like, ultimately, like, it's what he can possibly do in coverage, because the insane change of direction. I love the closing speed. I'm just kind of let down with, like, you have this combination of length and athleticism. Where are your splash plays and coverage, my guy? You would expect this guy to have more splash plays and coverage. Only the pass breakup this year? For reals, my dude? To be fair, only allowed a catch rate of 63.9%. That's pretty darn good. So, I'm cool with that. Does have a long build. Probably could add more bulk to his frame, but it seems that he's already done that. So, we'll get to see him at the combine. I'm excited about that. But before we finish the video, I do want to mention a couple of guys that didn't make my list. I already kind of talked about Henry To'oTo'o was the next guy up. A couple of others was like Owen Papoa from Auburn, Anthony Orji, and Ivan Pace from Cincinnati. Ivan Pace is mainly the guy I really want to focus on right here. I got an early day 3 grade on him. Like, he just lacks length and physicality for the position. Like, he's stubby, like short and compact, like, and it's not like one of those like, well, you can work on his play strength. Like, this dude was getting laid out at times by linemen. It kind of is what it is, but yeah, it's like another guy just with not a lot of high end traits. So, like, I think having him maybe like start the day 3, man, I'm looking at that cat. I was like, he's just a good football player. Get him on my squad. So, but yeah, that's the list. That's the end of the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing. Be on the look for interior offensive linemen tomorrow. And as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.